Grandpa's Corner Store by Diane DeSalvo Ryan. Mr. Butler sold his hardware store when a bigger one opened nearby. Then the building was torn down to make way for a new supermarket. Good luck, I say to Mr. Butler as he bumps his suitcase into his car. We'll miss you, my grandpa tells him, and we'll miss your hardware store. I hold on to Grandpa's hand, and we wave until Mr. Butler's car turns the corner. Old stores are out, new stores are in, but my grandpa's store stays the same. A busy corner grocery with black and white tiles, all worn straight down the middle aisles. Milk, juice, butter, eggs. The store has everything you need close by. Grandpa lives in the room in the back. There's a bed for sleeping, a kitchen for cooking, and a cat named Shirley for company. Sunday morning, I'm at the grocery to Grandpa's hand. I stack the cans and sweep the aisles. Kids toss their bikes and skateboards outside and pile inside for candy. Firefighters from across the street line up at the deli counter where Miss Folo takes their orders and bags them up to go. I know, Miss Folo says. Cheese and pickle sandwiches. Hers on rye, his on wheat. Extra mayo on yours, right, Chef? Chef Colony smiles at Grandpa. She always gets it right. The store is busy on Sundays, so my mother comes in to help. Neighbors stop by to pick up what they need. A quart of milk, a box of cereal. Mr. Tootie comes in for yesterday's paper. He likes to take his time when he reads, so Grandpa saves it for him. So what do you think with the new supermarket opening up? Are you going to sell your store? Mr. Tootie says flat out on my grandpa. Sell the grocery? I look at Grandpa. I don't think so, I tell Mr. Tootie. My grandpa would never do that. On Monday morning, my teacher, Miss McCarthy, tapes our neighborhood map up on the board. We paste the library closest to the school and Corman's house farthest from Ira's. The new supermarket will have everything, Stephen says, without even raising his hand. My grandpa's store already has everything already, I say a little bit louder. Then Miss McCarthy would like. But whenever I say that Grandpa's Corner Store has, Stephen says supermarket will have it too, cheaper and bigger and better. After school, I stop for a minute and watch the construction work. My ears begin to tingle from the noise. Then all of a sudden, I get a feeling that maybe Stephen is right. The supermarket is going to be big. It is already much bigger than me. Lucy's here, Grandpa yells, waiting to give me my 3 o'clock hug. Miss Folio takes charge of the register. The table in the kitchen is set for my homework, and Grandpa keeps me company. My mother says it's a nice arrangement to have while she's at work. I think so, too. I'm making your corner grocery store to put it up on the neighborhood map at school. I say. Grandpa watches me color in. Stephen is making the supermarket. He says your store is all washed up and you'll be moving to Florida just like Mr. Butler. Grandpa sighs and picks up a crown. Maybe Florida is nice, he says. It's not so cold in the winter. I laugh and give Grandpa a kiss. Florida's too far away. You can't run your store from there. When the telephone rings, it's Mr. Lee calling in an order. He's under the weather, my grandpa says. I help pack the delivery bag. Bread, soup, coffee, noodles. Grandpa puts his coat on to go out. Some deliveries are special. He likes to do them himself. I finish ordering coloring Grandpa's store when my mother comes to get me. I toss my crowns under the counter just before I leave. That's when I see a red for sale sign being hidden underneath some bags. I can't even talk on the way home, but when we get inside, The words spill out. Is Grandpa selling his store? I asked. My mother sits us both in a chair. Grandpa doesn't want to sell. He's afraid the new supermarket will put him out of business. Will Grandpa live with us if he sells? My mother looks around. I'd like that more than anything. She says, but we don't have the room. I am just about to say we can have my room when I hear a knock at the door. Miss Carvalho stands in the hallway. Everybody's talking, Miss Carvalho says. She flutters her hands like a bird in a nest. Everybody's worried the store will close. We worry too, my mother says. Come in, sit down. Miss Carvalho straightens her hat. I guess if he does, I'll try to get a job at the new supermarket. Things won't be the same for me anymore. I throw my arms around my mother. We have to do something, I say. The next day, on the way to Grandpa's store, I try to notice that the supermarket is going up fast. Construction workers call out to one another, waving steel beams into place. The sky is gray and thick with clouds. It almost feels like snow. It's cold out here? Miss Carvalho asks me, wrapping up a sandwich. Miss Duffy from down the block is huddled up, talking to Grandpa, paying when you can. I hear Grandpa whisper, cheese, milk, diapers, bread. Miss Duffy pats Grandpa's head. What would I do without you? She says. I bring my homework into the back and wait at the kitchen table. As soon as Grandpa takes his seat, I ask him about that for sale sign. Grandpa looks down at the black and white tiles that need to be replaced. He looks up at a crack in the ceiling and needs to be repaired. The new supermarket will have everything, from soups to nuts, he tells me, but it won't have you. I hug my grandpa, trying not to cry. I give him the grocery store I colored in for school. If you're going to sell your store, then you can keep this, I say. The map won't need it now. Saturday, the roof goes up at the supermarket. The for sale sign goes up in Grandpa's window. In school on Monday, I won't even look at Stephen. He keeps waving around the flyer he ripped from a pole on Avenue. Supermarket opens next week. I hope your grandpa likes Florida, he says, teasing. I grab the flyer out of his hand and throw it into the wastebasket. He turns, pasting more buildings. Somebody puts a tag with the words mud pile where the supermarket began to build. Miss McCarthy takes it down. I think that somebody is me. A community is a group of people who live and work together, Miss McCarthy says, pointing at our map. I think about what our community would be like without my grandpa's store, and then I look at Stephen and smile. Miss McCarthy has given me an idea. Either Sunday morning, I'll tell all the kids on my way home after school. 9 o'clock sharp, the firefighters say. Not a problem, Mr. Lee sneezes. I'll help spread the word, says Mr. Tootie. Miss Carvalho pats my arm. You can count on me, she says. It snows every single day that week. Clouds hang frozen in the winter sky like sheets of dried stiff on the clothesline. But that doesn't stop the supermarket from opening on Sunday. Colored flags snap in the wind. Special sale today. My mother and I yank the boots, pull down hats, and head for Grandpa's store. I hope this works, I tell my mother as we brave our way around the corner. Neighbors are bucked in front of the grocery store, all packed up like snowballs. Here comes Lucy, Chief Colony waves. Mr. Lee putting out coffee. Mr. Duffy has her 5 kids. Miss Duffy has her 5 kids bundled up into a sled. Miss Cafalio is laughing. Your grandpa can't see us. His windows are all iced up. There's carpenter's truck. The carpenter's truck. The kids from school. Even Miss McCarthy's here. I take a deep breath and push the door open. Where is everybody? I ask Grandpa, trying to keep it a secret. Probably at the supermarket, he says. Who needs this place now? You'd be surprised, I tell my grandpa. That's when the old front door climbs open, cheering for everyone as they come in. Neighbors are carrying paint cans, black and white tiles, nails and hammers, and plaster mix. Some of the people I don't even know. What's all this? My grandpa asks. It's Lucy's idea, Miss Fellow says. We're all here to spruce up this place. Did you really think we'd let you get away so fast? Miss Chief Colony asks my grandpa. Who's going to make the delivery special? Mr. Lee wants to know. And what about our cheese and pickle sandwiches? The firefighters remind Grandpa. And you know me, Mr. T says. I need yesterday's news today. Do you still want this? I ask Grandpa, taking down the for sale sign. Grandpa looks around his store. People keep coming in left and right, hanging their feet, rubbing their hands, and getting to work. Grandpa's walks into the kitchen and comes out holding my colored grocery store. Thank you, Lucy, he whispers, handing it back to me. I think your map needs this now. Then Grandpa hugs me and broom and all. Well, the grand opening of the new supermarket was a huge success. Stephen was right. The supermarket is big, but it isn't better than the whole neighborhood. The school, Stephen pastes a big rectangle on our map and marks it supermarket. I raise my hand, bigger but not better. I tell Miss McCarthy. Then I paste my grandpa's store right around the corner from my house. Milk, juice, butter, eggs. It has everything you need close by, and the best of all, it has Grandpa.